Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of August 1st through the 7th of 2022. Alright, so this week we have quite a bit of important things taking place. First of all is that we are in the first quarter moon of the lunar cycle. So especially about midweek, it is good to challenge ourselves and take some action and implement things that maybe have slowly come into our life since last week, or these new perspectives since last week's new moon. Now Mars, the planet of drive and assertiveness, is going to conjoin erratic Uranus here on Monday. So a new beginning, and really for, we could say, the next roughly 3 years of more of this fire energy in regards to our freedom. Uranus is all about being more of our true self, letting out some of that assertive, independent, initiating energy in a way that's more freeing in our life and in a way that expresses more of our true self. So certainly a new beginning, unshaping around the early part of the week there. Venus is going to be supporting that with some sextiles around Tuesday. And the moon will be an improvement-oriented Virgo for pretty much that whole early part of the week up until the weekend. And then the weekend does have a couple aspects. Venus will be trining Neptune, so there's a bit of receptivity that can be available in our relationships and enjoyments of life. And Mars square Saturn may be good to be patient, think long-term a little bit around Sunday. Could feel like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, testing our perseverance a little bit. But again, this can be extremely constructive when thinking about the long term. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, August 1st. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, so the signs are very different. And so if you are new to this channel and you're wondering why the sun is in Cancer right now, for example, definitely check out the link down below for more information using the visible sky called True Sidereal Astrology. All right, so let's do a bit of a recap, looking at where all the placements are, because we're not going to have any major sign changes this week. But certainly going into next week there will be. So we're finalizing a lot of energy. The sun is finishing Cancer this week. So the focus is still on creating that protective environment for ourselves and others, connecting more to our feelings and the personal elements of life, right? Cancer the crab. This last lunar cycle that was here around Thursday of last week set a new beginning around this side of ourselves. So still good to do this, create that protective environment, connect more to the personal elements, and we're just slowly building momentum out of that new moon energy coming into this week. But do keep in mind that this week will be the first quarter, which is where we usually do come to our first challenges of the lunar cycle. But in that sense, it's good to challenge ourselves, right? So taking a bit of that momentum, taking some action, building things, challenging ourselves to implement is a great way of working with particularly the middle part of this week as we are in that first quarter moon. Now Venus will also be finishing Gemini this week, and so still good to be enjoying things like communication, maybe learning and using our practical minds. This is great for enjoying and also just connecting with others in that way as well. Mercury and Leo, great for thinking and expressing ourselves. Well, thinking and communicating in a way that is a bit expressive. Thinking in the sense of creativity or passion or what we love, and perhaps allowing some of that personal self-expression to come through when it comes to Mercury and Leo, as well as that creative mind as well if you are utilizing it. And this Mars, who's going to be finishing Aries this week as well, and in this case going over Uranus, erratic Uranus. So let's go ahead and talk about that, because that is the first aspect that we do have here this week. And so as you can see here around Monday, Mars, the planet of drive, assertiveness, initiative, which is in the constellation of those things, right? Aries, Mars is in his home sign of Aries. So when it comes to that fire, that's going to be going over electrifying and erratic and freedom-oriented Uranus. Okay, so it is great for allowing some of that fire out in a way that's of course conscious and constructive. Now this is an inherently neutral conjunction or aspect, because it is a conjunction. Conjunctions are inherently neutral. But of course, we can be dealing with, again, some of this kind of, explosive or kind of erratic or kind of sometimes hard to, balance energy, right? Just because of the nature of this fire and air, we could say, right? So Mars in Aries is the fire, and then Uranus being air or electricity as well, but in the sense of air, really feeding the flames. So it's a new beginning here, and with Mars's cycle, since Mars is about to go retrograde later this year, we are talking about essentially a new beginning, a new 3-year new beginning, with letting out some of that fire in a way that's more freeing and more in alignment with our true self. Okay, and so that's what Uranus calls us to do, is to do things that are more for our excitement, more because it's spontaneous, it challenges the status quo, it's different, it's unique, it's unorthodox, it's that individual self-expression, right? And change, and the freedom that comes from that. So this is what is coming out, and again, it's coming out from that more assertive, fiery nature when we talk about this conjunction being with Mars and also in Aries. So any intentions you want to set around this is great. Again, inherently neutral, can be extremely constructive for anything that is about incorporating more freedom or change, more individual self-expression in our lives. But of course, just being mindful and conscious of it so that it's balanced, right? Because again, we are dealing with a bit of that erratic energy here. And this is all conjunct the North Node, which is suggesting that it has been really, a year, and, we would say here, particularly, this early to middle part of 2022 has been very good to really connect to more of that assertive side, that independent drive, right? Expressive Aries side. And so these are new things with the North Node here. New beginnings, new things, new developments. And so anything that is, again, outside the comfort zone or just different, I think is a great way of working with this. What we could call a stellium, a 3-way conjunction here between Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. So as I said, that will be the days surrounding Monday here. And we're also going to have Venus supporting it, though, so slightly. So Venus will be sextiling up to that conjunction. And so Venus is the planet of our values and relationships and the things we enjoy in life. So that more sensual and connected element is in harmony to it, at least around the Tuesday, and just to some degree. So it could be an opening, as sextiles often are, can be described as doors opening, opportunities. In this case, to bring in a little bit of that yin or receptive or feminine energy into the mix, right? Because we are talking about this fire, so that would be more yang. And so Venus can help us balance that with a little bit of that yin. And so great for a bit of that availability, connectivity, receptivity, right? If it's involving relationships, as Venus and Mars often do, it could be about cooperation and harmony, just available. So good to see that that's available, astrologically speaking. That can help us perhaps balance or further develop this new beginning with Mars and Uranus. All right, and the moon will be in Virgo for this whole basically early to middle part of the week up until Friday, okay? Virgo being a very large constellation. So the moon will be here. So this whole, let's say, first half of the week, first to middle part, is very good for improvement oriented. Virgo is all about solving problems, fixing things, finding solutions. And so with the moon here, great week for, great early part of the week for doing that. Refinement, improvement, personal development, those types of things is great. All right, so that quite straightforward, encapsulating pretty much this whole early to middle part of the week. Again, the middle part will be the actual square between the sun and moon in the first quarter phase of the cycle, which is, again, already a good week for action and implementation and challenging ourselves. Now, the weekend, we do have the moon then starting to go into Libra on Friday. So Friday is good for essentially creating balance in our life, as themes of Libra often entail. And so in this case, anything that is about bringing things back into balance, if there's any areas that are out of balance in our life, and also perhaps just noticing that there are some themes involving relating, as there often is with Libra, which is usually about coming to middle ground, coming to agreement, and cooperation, And again, walking a bit of that middle path there. So any themes, any intentions around that on Friday, just because we have no aspects within orb there, could be emphasized for that day specifically. All right, and the earlier part of Saturday will still have some of that Libra energy, but then the moon will be shifting into deep Scorpio and a Fucus for the remainder of Saturday and all of Sunday. And so this is the deeper elements of life. And so good, very later part of the week, the weekend, for a bit of that depth, uncovering deep things, bringing deep things to the surface, to be connected with, to be worked with in life. And themes around that. So healing, personal transformation, empowerment, facing fears, psychology, all this connecting to life on a deeper level, connecting to ourselves on a deeper level is likely the theme. But we do have some aspects here around Sunday, which we will probably feel the later part of Sunday, later part of Saturday as well. And one is this, let's say Venus trining Neptune. So again, Venus, receptivity, rules relationships, connectivity. And the trine to Neptune can make it actually quite easy going and going with the flow a little bit. So on one hand, when it comes to the relational and enjoyments, we may notice a bit of flow, at least available. Okay, and so maybe we're more compassionate, maybe more, accepting. Maybe it's easier to go with the flow. Maybe we're just more at peace in general on that side of things when it comes to specifically, what we're enjoying and connecting to in life when it's done in that more yin way. But then again, the yang energy in this case is a bit challenged because Mars, again, the fire, will be in this case squaring up to Saturn. Okay, and so Saturn is all about patience and perseverance. So this can be felt that whenever we're taking action or again dealing with fire things, action, initiative, our needs, collectively we might feel a little bit of restriction here. Okay, it can feel like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, testing our perseverance a little bit. And that's a good way of working with it, is to see how can we align our short-term drives with our long-term drives or goals. Okay, and so anything that is about thinking long-term, being patient, persevering, can be very constructive because these Mars square Saturns can actually be great times for building towards long-term things, so long as we are approaching it in that way and not necessarily expecting short-term gains from the situation. Okay, so those are the 2 aspects there. Again, Mars and Venus kind of playing this dance, if you will. Venus on the more supportive side this week, Mars a little bit more on the challenge side, we could say. And so finding those balances is great. But all in all, this is a fantastic week for, again, challenging ourselves, implementing things in this first quarter, the mid part of the week specifically. The early part, again, new beginning to that individual self-expression, healthy initiative, fire, drive, excitement, all right, spontaneity. And what I feel like is individually connecting to that true self, which is all about that individual self-expression. Right, so new beginnings with that, with Venus supporting that. And then over the weekend, yes, a bit of patience and discipline can go a long ways, but also noticing that there is this available receptivity with Venus trine Neptune. Okay, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a free newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube and extra content not normally released on YouTube. So check that out down below. If you're not yet signed up, have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.